What's going on, you guys? Like what you guys said, another DC TV talk. It's been a minute for a DC TV talk, huh? All the shows left. And wow, we got the conclusion of Crisis on Infinite Earths. And I just gotta say, I love the ending to this thing. We got the episode part 4 was episode of Arrow, and part 5, where they finished it off, was the episode of Legends of Tomorrow. And also how they gonna kick out this season. Also, when these shows come back next week, it's gonna be insane to see what direction each of these shows go, because this it gave me exactly what I think I wanted from the beginning of this crossover. I knew pretty much where it was gonna end at. I just didn't know if they was gonna have the, you know what I'm saying, really have a ball to like go through with it, and they did in a way that like is so satisfying to me as a fan of these shows, because like I said, I watch every single one of these shows weekly. You know what I'm saying? I don't miss a beat. I know what these shows are, so I'm not like everybody else who complains about these shows and like where they going. And there's times where the shows are bad. You know what I'm saying? Not gonna sugarcoat it, but like it went in a direction with this crossover that I think I really enjoyed. And something I guess I want to go through a few points from the crossover and like a few things that really stuck out to me about it. One thing, hey, we have to go to this other universe. They've been gone for months. They have to go stop the monitor, because he's the reason that the anti-monitor is kind of created. We know Nash Wells was the reason he was released. All of these things that happened and going on, because Moronobu was a guy, he was like a scientist. He wanted to go back to the beginning of time, you know what I'm saying? Just so happened when he did that, that caused a chain reaction. And that's how we got into where we going. We have Lex Luthor, who's trying to control, have universe domination, world domination, so many different types of things that happen in this episode. And we have Oliver, who becomes a Spectre, and I'm thinking, okay, he's gonna be the Spectre now, so he's gonna go off into like the sunset. He's not actually going to die. Wrong. He died. And of course, like I said, there's a lot that happened, so I'm trying to condense it. You know what I'm saying? So he ends up dying. And what's crazy, and this is the craziest feat that I think they pulled in this crossover, is the fact that they killed this guy twice. And on the second time, it hit harder than the first. If you see a character die and come back and then die again, that it doesn't really like land that much. You know what I'm saying? And then again, it landed for Krillin too. And Krillin died, it worked. But in this situation, like we've seen Oliver go and then turn back, like okay. And then he goes at the Spectre, and it hit then, but the moment where it really got me, and I really like legitimately teared up, is when we went to see Dig, Renee, and Dana. That's the moment that I think he really got to me, cause David Ramsey killed it. Like him, and Katie Lotz, as Sarah Lance, both of them like really like pulled it home. And Sarah like was a shining star throughout these last 2 episodes, both of them, because I liked her leadership, and like, you know what I'm saying, the way she has that leadership quality. I know probably people probably look to like the Flash or Supergirl, but I think those two are good heroes, but I don't think they have that leadership quality that Sarah has. And given she has that, because like she's been over some miscreants, you know what I'm saying? And even in that last episode, once we finally get to that last episode, the Earth is saved, and we get to see everybody in the same Earth together, and it was so funny, because we have Weather Witch we haven't seen in a while. We have Supergirl ready to go after her, because she just found out that Lex Luthor is just being praised by people, and she don't know what the hell's going on. John's have to go through and put everybody's mind like, hey, this is what happened, and it's crazy, because it's like John, like, hey, this is what happened. Oh, okay. Well, it just opened my mind to some completely new stuff. But back to when Supergirl was fighting Weather Witch, and the Flash came to help, and then they stopped them, and then they saved them, and then Marv Wolfman, the guy who wrote Crisis on Infinite Earths, is the person asking for an autograph, and he's like, how long have we been together? I've been teaming up doing this is like forever. And at that moment, you know, like, hey, they're all on this one earth. You and that's one thing I think is probably the best part that came from this whole crossover is the fact that you now have all these superheroes on one earth. You have Black Lightning, the Superman, give Lois Lane a nod. Uh, um, Supergirl, the Flash, the Legends, like Black Lightning, like everybody, Batwoman, all of these people are now on one Earth. And not only that, the ending with the Hall of Justice and them being able to become about to start the Justice League, or it's it ended perfectly for me. For me, it ended perfectly, and that's not even addressing all the stuff that they did inside. Because there was a moment, and I think we all know what moment I'm about to say. And, excuse me, the moment where Ezra Miller showed up, I paused the TV and I pull one of these. You know what I'm saying? I was in shock. I sat there for 5 minutes like, no, is that really him? And then I pressed play and I paused it again. I'm like, wow. We have both Barry Allens from the film universe and the television universe on screen together. I know people say it was like green screen, but then I just saw an image on Twitter. It was like that. No, that was them. They took pictures together, hugging. I'm like, or they could have been Photoshop. I don't know, but either way it goes, it was just like, I can't believe they did this. This is insane. And like there were so many different moments. It just was like a complete callback to everything you've seen before. It really makes you appreciate these shows and especially if anybody who's been with these shows. One of my favorite shots of this was when we first went to Oliver in Purgatory, and it just became the Spectre. But before that, they were just going through all of his battles against everyone, and it just had it's like a montage of all of that. That's a clip that I'm gonna clip out and put in my phone just because like it's just everything that you've seen from this character. This crossover was great, and not only it's about, for me, there was times the story seemed a bit convoluted. I was gonna say clunky, but I don't think it was clunky. I just think it was a bit convoluted. There was so many things going on. But if you read the comic, it is just as convoluted. Probably even more confusing and convoluted. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of things happening. You have to there's chapters, well, I can say chapters, there's pages you have to read over and over just to make sure you got exactly what's going on. There's times you have to go back and read something that's exactly what the comic is. And so the fact that they had the nuts to say, hey, we're gonna do this, you know what I'm saying, we're gonna go big, knowing this, if you do certain things wrong like this, the whole thing can end up looking like a disaster and a complete total mess. So I give them credit for that by itself. The fact that you already like these characters, and I'm like, one thing you have to do is, for me, is like, I'm big on characters and endings, and like the fact that they ended it the way they did, I mean, at the end of the day, I stood up at the end of this. When I saw then you start seeing the other Earths. And you saw what Star Girls at. You know what I'm saying? Then you saw the Green Lantern. At first, I'm like, is it gonna be John in the Green Lantern suit? But then I thought HBO has a Green Lantern series coming out to HBO Max, so I'm pretty sure that's what that is. You see Titans, you see Doom Patrol, you see Swamp Thing. I also thought Titans, Doom Patrol, and Swamp Thing were on the same Earth. Titans and Titans and Doom Patrol are on the same Earth, because that's how Beast Boy got with the Titans, because he came from Doom Patrol. So, but that's just one little like nitpicking that you saw. Brandon Rouse, Superman. I so much to talk about this cross. I feel like I can go in on this crossover all day and just bring up so many different things, that they did. And the fact of the matter is, one thing you just have to remember, that they are going to, after this event just shook up every single one of these shows, none of these shows is going to be what they were after we last saw them. We don't know the full effects of what full effects happened. Because John did, baby Sarah's back, okay? Dig has 2 kids now. Dig Jr. and Sarah. Like, Lex Luthor is a humanitarian. There's a bunch of things that happen. We don't know all of them right now. And that's going to be like the most fun. That's, for me, I know that's probably going to be the most fun part, is exploring all of these shows, seeing exactly what's new and what's changed and what's different about them. Kudos to CW, bro. Kudos. They pulled off. I loved it. I'm just really happy they did this. I'm just really happy. But you guys let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. Hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel. I don't know why I would rank this crossover yet. Give me like a week or two. You know what I'm saying? Then I maybe like do a video on what's the best CW crossover so far, and maybe like do a little predictions on what crossover can they do next or whatever, because now we got the Justice League. Eventually we're gonna introduce Darkseid. I almost guarantee it, you guys. But yeah, I'll catch you with you guys later. Peace.